form, and it's nice that we won. But you jerk. Daniel tried to catch me in my rant.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to catch you in your natural habitat. Like a natural, just good old-fashioned Jason rant.
I'll still give it to him.
Still give it to him. We're going to give it to him on this podcast. Yeah. Hello and welcome to the Overly Negative Red, White, and Blues podcast, where we talk negatively about Chelsea for 45 minutes to an hour every Monday night, despite them winning 2-1. Anyway, I'm Daniel. He's Jason over there. And how you doing, man?
I'm good. I did start as soon as I got on with Daniel. I told him I was going to be negative. So you tell me, Daniel, are you going to be negative, or are you going to balance this pod out?
I mean, so I'm going to sum the matchup for you in a sentence, and we can go from there. 75 minutes of pure shit for 15 minutes of pure joy. That's the match in a nutshell. Like, we were shit for 75 minutes, and then the last 15 minutes was just pure joy as a Chelsea fan.
So you don't include the little bit of play that we had at the beginning of the second half as pure joy?
No. The only pure joy the pure joy did not technically start until Tyreek George scored. So
that's about the 80th minute then.
Yeah. Okay. So, but there was 6 minutes of stoppage time. So 80 minutes of pure shit and 15 minutes of pure joy. So I should have said 80 minutes of pure shit. Sorry. Correct me, Jason. Yes. 80 minutes of pure shit.
Until I agree. Until Tyreek George scored. Even after he scored, I was like, oh, okay, well, we got a draw. This might keep the toxicity at bay for a little bit. And then I was still angry after we won. I think I sent you a message that I was like, I'm always happy when we win. Like, it's not like I'm not happy that we won. I need to find this message because I think I was a little more eloquent in my pissed off stage. I said I am going to try not to be an asshole on the pod, but we are playing some of our worst football ever, and we are lucky to have won that, is what I said. And then I said right before that, overall, I'm always happy when we win, but it's kind of like spraying Febreze on a pile of shit at this point. So anyway, not eloquent, but that's how I felt. I felt like the win covered a multitude of sins, and sometimes football is like that, and I don't want to misrepresent that I'm not happy that we won, but at the same time, we are very lucky we won.
Yeah,
and sometimes luck. We've talked about luck, but I would say it hasn't been only luck that has put us in the position to have to go chase a win, and then to still be in sixth and chase the rest of the pack for top 5, and then we're still all kidding ourselves by going, oh, well, we still have a chance for top 5. That was one of Maresca's talking points. We still put ourselves in contention for top 5. It's like, you were in the driver's seat for top 5. You weren't even, it wasn't contention. Like, teams were falling around us at times when we could have been taking a very commanding lead over a couple of the teams in the top 5, and you've blown it. And then you want to, anyway, we'll talk about Maresca's post-match because I think he lives in a different world.
Maresca definitely is on a different planet than the rest of the Chelsea fans. Like, it is just I don't know where, I'm almost to the point where I think it's just arrogance because he is so secure in his job. Like, if you believe what Ornstein said this weekend, we talked about last week on this pod, and I said Christmas, and you said, no, it'll be next year, at the end of next year. And Ornstein said the exact same thing you said. And, Ornstein is one of the few journalists I trust. And he comes out and says, oh, Maresca's probably not going to be reevaluated until the end of his second season. So it's Okay, so he's that. If that's what the journalists are saying, then Maresca has to know that too. That's why he was downplaying top 4 earlier in the year. Then it was, oh no, we got to finish top 4, and now it's back to, oh, we're having a really good season this year, and I think it's just pure arrogance at this point that he knows he's not losing his job. So what does it matter? And I don't know if it's right or wrong to fire him at this point. I mean, we have the Club World Cup in the summer. If you bring a new manager in, they're not going to have enough time to put their system in. So you're essentially just throwing that tournament away. And if the director of football don't leave, there's no point in Maresca leaving because those Dumb and Dumber would then be in charge of hiring the new person. So I don't think firing Maresca is necessarily the right thing to do, but I don't like Maresca. I can say that. I think both can be true.
So. I completely agree. I was going to say something very similar. I'm not on board with Maresca out or firing Maresca. I think he's and it is hard for us on the outside of the club to criticize what's going on in the club because we're just not on the ground. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. We don't know. We have to listen to post-match commentaries and post-match interviews and interviews with players, and we're overanalyzing who tweets when and who responds to what and all the shit that we have to think about. And you and I think, try to stay mostly above that fray in terms of how we're analyzing the game. And we go a lot on, just the general consensus of most of the Chelsea fans, even though we have to wade through the toxicity of that. And then we have to go based on a lot of eye tests, I think, on the thing, because we don't overly analyze stats here. And I'll probably never be on board with the XG stat. And especially as much as the board really loves that, to tout that as one of the talking points for why we are successful. But I will just say, for whatever Maresca has done in the locker room, and you see reports of, he's really created a very great family atmosphere, and he's lost them. You just see it all.
You see both. You do.
Yeah. It's there's a whole spectrum of shit that comes out from everyone. And then you have shills, and then you have people we trust. So it's just I think for you and me, we have settled on the eye and vibe test. And I think Maresca is out of touch with that. And I don't he is so clouded by what he sees and what he thinks is the best. And he's towing the company line, and he's saying all the things that he's supposed to say. And he's not going to get into a fray with his employers. We feel that in his post-match conferences, where what he says kind of rubs us all the wrong way. Yeah. And he's done it for the past couple of weeks, to where he was blaming the fans, and now he thinks we've had a really great season. And so that brings me to my actual point. There are two ways to look at this, right? And we could look at it as, dude, up until our draw with Everton right before Christmas, we were flying high. We were second in the league. We were rolling. People were talking about us being in the title race. Maresca, to his credit, said we were definitely not in the title race. You and I, more than we did at that point, apparently. Yeah. Well, you and I, to our credit, also were there's no way we're in the title race, and we weren't going to get our hopes up anyway. But there's two ways you can look at this, right? The first way is what I'm being redundant about now is, we were flying high, and we are now in contention for top 5, which, thanks to Arsenal and Villa for giving us the coefficient, we're doing well enough in the Champions League. Yeah. The top 5 spots are now Champions League contention spots. So we're in the top 5. We can go Champions League if things go our way, and we have a chance. And there's the other way you can look at this, which is the way that I tend to look at it as, we had a lot of goodwill going into the summer. They fired Poch. We had a lot of things in place. We had a lot of players playing a style of football that they knew and recognized that Poch had built. Poch lost 1 game in his last 15 on the way up, or on the way to the end of the season. There was a lot of momentum going our way. Maresca was able to come in. He was able to ride that wave. And now we're seeing full implementation of Maresca ball, and it's crashing around him. And that's kind of how I see it happening right now. And Maresca, of course, because he's a company man, he's doubling down. And he's not going to admit that that's the problem. He's going to point to the fans and then try to tell us we're having a good season when we were in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we're at. I think eye and vibe test wise. And the reason the fans are booing is because the eye test is not matching what they're telling us after the game.
Right.
And they feel like where Poch had built progression up until the last game throughout the season. And there was a lot of criticism aimed at Poch, and I think a lot of it was valid.
Yep.
But he was working towards a thing and progressed at the last fourth of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all throughout the last fourth of the season progressed.
When he changed tactics.
Yeah.
When he switched stuff up, which Maresca refuses to do. So,
and Poch did for most of the season. He was stubborn throughout most of the season. That was one of our main criticisms of him.
Yep.
But now we're watching Maresca be stubborn and totally botch what he built the first half of the season that we were rightfully giving him credit for. And like, that's why fans are booing. Like, it's not just, oh, there's a backward. Like, people want to make this overly simplified in terms of like, oh, we just don't like it when we pass backwards, and we just don't like slow football, and this is hard to watch, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, we're watching what you built with us being in the driver's seat crumble around us. And now we're chasing the pack when we were leading the pack of the teams that were behind Liverpool and Arsenal. And now we're chasing them. And that is what fans are booing. It is not simply a backward pass. No, we're tired of you constantly supporting Bob when Bob, albeit had a decent game yesterday.
Yeah.
Or yesterday. Whew, seems like a long time ago.
Whenever
had a decent game yesterday. Like, for the most part, has led to 5 goals this season on his own, and is still shaky out of the back. Like, we are watching it all crumble, and you're still going to give us the same shit about how good Bob is and how we just don't see it yet. Yeah. And that like is the line. No, we're really good. If this was on XG, we would be where we're supposed to be. No, we would have what we deserve. Like, that's
we would. Yeah, or we, if you look at big chances created, we're like third in the Premier League. So it's like, oh, according to these analytics, we're supposed to be really good, but we're not. And it's like you said, we get what you deserve. Like, that's why people can say, oh, we deserve to win. We didn't deserve to win the match, but we won it. So we got what we deserved out of that somehow. And I think, and that's the thing, is like, I look back to before Poch changed his tactics last year. And the thing that we kept saying was it was individual moments of brilliance from Cole Palmer. Literally, Cole Palmer drug Poch to finishing where he did last year. And then at the end of the year, Poch did switch some tactics up, and we started playing better as a team. And it wasn't just Cole Palmer dragging us to the finish line. And so, like, I say that to say that Sunday's match was literally just individual moments of brilliance. It wasn't tactics that Maresca implemented. It wasn't like we made the passes that he wanted to make. It was literally Tyreek George just getting the ball out of the box, turning and shooting. Like, great. I'm glad Tyreek shot the ball because that's more than Nico did all match.
Even the commentators were like, oh, somebody just finally just shot.
Yeah, exactly. And and then Neto's was the same thing. It was just another moment of individual brilliance. Yep. And you need those moments at times. But like, we criticized Poch last year when it was Cole Palmer that was carrying him in the middle of the season to be in contention at the end to go on the run that he did go on. So, like, I think it's fair to criticize Maresca for the same thing. It's like these matches that we win are individual moments of brilliance. Like, it's not like we literally just lost to Warsaw last week. We lost to one of the worst teams in the Conference League.
Preach it, Daniel. It seems like everybody just forgets that because we happen to have a come-from-behind victory at Fulham.
Right. And the thing is, if that Conference League match would have been full of nothing but academy players and we would have rested like Palmer, we would have rested more of the starters than we did, I would have been okay with losing. But we didn't. Like Enzo and Caicedo were the only people we really dropped. Everybody else, Reese played a full 90. Like, what do we do?
Was really proud of him for playing a full 90 and then playing a full 45. He wanted you to know that he was really proud of him for doing that.
Stupidest crap ever, because like we need Premier League wins more than we needed that Conference League win. Like, rest Reese during that match, or have him only play 45 minutes in that match, so then he can turn around and go 90 on Sunday.
You know, he looked really tired yesterday. Reece James.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder why. Yeah. I mean, the goal that we gave up was because of Reece. He's the one that gave the ball up, and that's not the first time that he's given the ball away in midfield this year. And it's led to a goal. But Maresca says he's a midfielder. So you're taking one of the best right backs in the world and saying, no, he's a midfielder. And he was a midfielder in the academy, and it didn't work out. And he's given the ball away on a couple of different occasions that have led to goals. But no. Maresca knows better that, no, Reece is a midfielder.
Well, that brings up another interesting point, right? Like I'll ask you a question. I think I know the answer, but I'll ask it for you, for our listeners. Do you think Maresca as a coach has made the players better this season?
No. I don't.
Is there any player that has improved over last season?
I mean, statistically, you can point to Enzo, because he is technically having, statistically speaking, goals and assists
player there right now.
Yes, and I think Enzo has had a better year this year. I don't think Poch knew how to use a Caicedo-Enzo pivot, and we yelled about that a lot last year. Yeah. Now, however, I do think we're better when Caicedo and Lavia are in the midfield than Caicedo and Enzo. I think we're a lot more. I think Lavia adds a lot more than Enzo does, especially defensively. Caicedo doesn't feel like he has to be all over the pitch. Caicedo's probably had a better year.
But he's growing into that role, though.
Yeah, but and I think it's just Caicedo's entering his prime and becoming the footballer he was always meant to be, and his talent is just blossoming under Maresca. Now, you got to attribute some of that to Maresca, but I also think Caicedo is just that talented. Everybody else is pretty much, which, to be fair, Palmer,
possibly
Cucurella, but Cucurella did start coming on at the end of the year last year under Pochettino when Poch moved him into that inverted left back role in the midfield. So I will say that maybe Maresca stole that from Poch. But Cucurella has had a fantastic year. I mean, I don't think Nico has not had, granted, he's been hurt a good part of this year, hasn't had a great year. Palmer, which we both agreed at the beginning of the season, though, that Palmer would not duplicate last year's numbers, and he hasn't. But I think it's the fact that he's on
here.
Yeah, it's like a 16-game goalless streak right now or something. Now, he's still contributing with some assists here and there, but still, you want him to score more. I don't know. Madueke maybe is come on a little more.
I think Mads is like the most overrated player on our team right now. I thought he was terrible yesterday.
I don't know. I thought Mads fits Maresca's system because Maresca wants his wingers to take on their players. Like, he wants them to stay out wide, cut inside, take on their players, which Mads is good at. He's the only one that will at least try to take on his player and shoot the ball. Sancho will try and take on the player, but he'll never shoot. and Neto just crosses every damn time he touches the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but our defense is, I guess, statistically better this year, but eye test wise, it just feels worse. Like we feel leakier. Like we just, I don't know, all around defensively, I just feel like we're worse. I mean, maybe you can make a case for 3 or 4 players, 2, 3, 4 players being a little better, but as a team, like you talked about it a minute ago, like Poch went sort of up a little bit, then flat, and then you had like Cole Palmer dragging Poch to victories, back down, and then he rode he didn't lose his last 12, didn't lose any or something, and won his last 6 or something like that. It was
it was crazy,
something like that.
Crazy.
It was a great run that he went on at the end of the year. So he started figuring things out. Maresca's done the exact opposite. Like his trajectory was up high, and then it's just gone downhill.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's crazy.
One of my main issues yesterday was, and you could see it very clearly in how Fulham were playing in the first half versus how we were playing in the first half, because that's one of the worst first halves of football we've had all season.
Yeah.
And just when I think that I can't say that, there's always another game
I feel like we say that after every match now. Like it was the worst first half of football I've ever seen. Yeah.
Well, and it was clear as day, and I think this might have been one of the reasons why Mads comes off right, is because Mads kept running centrally.
Yeah.
And him and Palmer got in each other's way several times last game. And you could watch Fulham do overlapping runs where they're making space for each other for the passes. And I'm sure that it happened a couple times, but like most of the time we're not doing that.
We don't overlap.
We do not. And our off the ball movement is horrible.
Like, there is none.
Genuinely, they just stand there.
They just stand there.
Yeah. And I thought sometimes, like, I didn't think Fulham's press, like, worked that well in terms of shutting us down fully from playing out of the back. Like, I mean, even Reese giving away the ball was a player coming from behind, shouldering off the ball and then getting it to Iwobi. But, like, I think we were still able to play out the back like we like to do.
Yeah.
The problem is they just had more energy, and they were more up for it than we were.
Yeah.
And we also aren't playing like an intricate, complicated style of football. It's like literally like you run here. Oh no, you're in my way. And we don't have the skills to like make up for like a very simple style of football. So we don't have trapping skills. We don't have passing skills. Like we do a lot of over the top balls now. We do a lot of crosses. Nobody's making runs into the box to get on the end of a cross. Nobody
Kukurea is the only one that does it.
Yeah.
Kukurea is the only one that makes runs into the box. They're trying to get, like, Nico finally made a run this match to get in on a ball, and then his first touch just was shit.
And then there was one where it came to him, and instead of like going for the ball, like in a way to score the goal, like just throwing himself at the ball, he sticks out a leg to try to get it. It's just like your trapping skills aren't good enough to even try something that crazy, like let alone trap a regular pass like the one you're talking about. So it is just kind of mind-blowing. Like Fulham looked pretty good the first
they looked
half.
Up for that.
They just don't have the skill or the finesse on the ball to like get on the end of some of the things they were trying, but they have a vision down the pitch that like was way better than ours. And I don't care what the stats say. Like Fulham was able to get at us in ways that we were not able to get at them. And it's because we aren't doing anything to drive the ball up the pitch or to make space for ourselves when we drive the ball up the pitch in a way that keeps the other team on the back foot. We're so predictable. And we also don't have the skill, I think, or at least right now we don't have the confidence to implement the skill that we think the players have, which is why I think I'm so upset because the potential of this team has been squandered, I think. But so to me, Madueke kept trying to make runs in. And the reason we brought Neto in was because he widened the attack on the right, because he stays on the right and then Palmer is able to stay in his lane there.
Yeah.
where he likes to be. But they got into each other's way a little bit. But Palmer also keeps coming back so deep to get the ball, and that's just a testament to like the non-existent off the ball movement that our defense can't do. And that's what you're talking about with the eye test. Like, our defense does not build anything. Our defense simply is there to just pass the ball between them and out.
Yeah.
Like, there is no building from the back because they can't do it. And so I say all that, and the the Neto goal literally starts with Chalaba. So it was like the one time that we did that all match.
Yeah.
But like, just in my very simple mind of how I understand football, you could watch Fulham building plays and running their patterns, and they were able to do that all over us. And we were not able to contribute anything. I don't know what drills we're running. I've said this all season. I don't know what we're doing in practice. Like,
nothing.
What do they even do in practice? Like, I don't know. But I texted you this during the game. Like, we had no definable shape in the first half.
Mm-mm.
Like, there was nothing happening. Like, I don't know how players knew where they were supposed to be, because nobody seemed like they were where they were supposed to be at any time within that first half. When we came out in the second half, and granted, we made a couple subs that I think did help, but like, we didn't look as lost as we did in that first half. And so I don't know what was going on, but that was one of the absolute worst first halves of football. Fulham should have had more.
Yeah.
Bob, to his credit, did some work yesterday.
Yeah.
And that kind of saved some of that in the end. But yeah, sorry, I'm done now.
Yeah, no. I was just gonna say, to add on top of that, it's sort of the inverse of Poch. Like, we would always come out with Poch set up really well to start the match, have really good first halves, and then Poch went inside, they drank some beer, ate some biscuits, and then shit the bed in the second half.
Yeah,
that's what we always did, but now it's the invert. And I mean, at least you can say that about Maresca, because he does make adjustments at halftime. But sometimes I wonder, it's like, why do you wait 45 minutes to make these adjustments? Like, you can make adjustments on the fly in the match. Like, you can be like, all right, well, this is what they're doing. We need to counter that. This is what y'all need to go do now. Like, you can make those adjustments on the fly. So, I don't know. But yeah, we're too easy to bypass in the midfield. Like, whenever other teams have the ball, our midfield, not that great. Because Enzo's not really a defensive guy. He's more of an offensive player. So that leaves Caicedo with a lot more pitch to cover. And it's just like, there's so many little things I feel like that we could sit here and nitpick.
Yeah.
And it's just, and I don't know if this style of football will work in the future. I don't see it working. I feel like next year we'll start off worse than we did this year, because teams know what Maresca will do. So, and I don't see us making the necessary purchases in the summer, unless by some miracle we make Champions League, to get the players that we need in here. Because I just don't. I mean, if you believe Ornstein, the strikers we're going after are okay. I mean, they're not great. Like, Oshman wasn't on the list. Gerkers wasn't on the list. So
this isn't a striker, but I did see a rumor we were trying to get Van Dijk.
Yeah, that came out. Yeah, Ornstein said that. And then immediately, like the next day, I don't remember who it was. It was today. Some reporter reported, like, see? No, because Ornstein said that Saturday, I think, because he went on ESPN and said a whole bunch of stuff. I think that was Saturday he said that. And then I think it was either yesterday or today, some other journalists come out. See, they are making moves for older people and experienced players. And I'm like, what realistic chance would Van Dijk come here? Number one, I think Van Dijk's lost his steps. I don't really want Van Dijk. But I'm just like,
he's not going to be another Silva.
Right.
Which is what they're hoping for. And that's just not going to happen.
And on top of that, Silva was free. So
exactly.
Van Dijk would not have been free, I don't think. So it's one of those things that's just like, I think that was more of a PR thing.
Right.
Even though I trust Ornstein, I think that was more of a PR move by the club,
Right.
being like, "Hey, we are trying to get experienced players in here." I don't know, because all the other targets they have for the summer, ain't no old people on that target on that list that Ornstein released. So I don't know, but it's like you're not like the strikers that they listed that Ornstein gave. Like none of them are great with their head.
Yeah.
But yet that's all we do is freaking cross the ball. So
Right.
why wouldn't you
Right.
try to get a striker that it's decent in the air that can head the ball?
We don't need
Why?
just a striker that's decent in the air. We do need other players on the pitch that
Correct.
are a little taller than what we're
Yeah.
used to buying and
Yeah.
also decent in the air.
Yeah.
But
I
we
mean,
like being a short team, man. I don't know
we
why,
do.
but yeah, if we're gonna cross it, I mean that's a good point. Like we need people that can get on the end of it, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Well, I mean, like that's the thing. It's like, why did you not? And that I'll always harp back to this when I talk about the rest of football. Is like, why did we not make a move for a striker with that profile in the January window just on loan? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you could have gotten somebody for 6 months that can head the ball in the goal, like,
Right.
and then our crosses wouldn't be irrelevant. Um, I don't know. It is what it is. We won,
Yeah.
yay, and
Yeah.
you know
But
it is
that
what it is.
leads to the future, right? Like so
Right.
now we are chasing
Yep.
top 5. If that's actually the goal.
Yeah,
It's been up in the
who the
air
hell
what the
knows at this
goal is.
point?
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Who the hell knows? Because it's changed like 5 times this year.
Yeah.
What the goal is, because Maresca
Yeah.
keeps saying something different every press conference. So who the hell knows at this point what the actual goal is for Chelsea this season?
Yeah, seriously. Like, but the bare minimum, right, should
Yeah.
be Europa, and not just because of where we finish in the league, but because on paper we're the best team in the conference league and have been the overwhelming favorite since the start of the
Yeah.
competition.
Mhm.
And so that's bare minimum. I think if we do not win the conference league, I think Maresca has to answer a lot of questions about that
Yeah.
because we should be winning that. Like, and we should be winning it more handedly than we are. And to your point earlier, the win this weekend in the dramatic fashion and in the way we got it is glossing over the fact that we did lose midweek
Yeah.
in to one of the worst teams.
Yeah.
And we lost at home, did we not? So,
Yeah. It
like,
was at home. Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, anyway, that's going
And
to
it
be
was
a
one of the
big
lowest attended European matches we've ever had at home.
wow.
It was like 29,000 people or something like that. It was
Blame
shit.
the
Shit
fans.
attendance.
Those assholes.
Yeah.
Those asshole
Yep. Blame
Chelsea
the
fans. They screwed us over by not showing up. But at the end of the day, right? Like we are now in a situation where we have to chase. And next games, Everton,
Yep.
Liverpool, Newcastle, Man U, Nottingham Forest.
We have the
3 of
hardest
those
schedule
teams,
left
yes.
out
3
of
of those teams are above
the
us.
5 teams. Yeah.
So if I'll just say at this point, we've really shot ourselves in the damn foot
Yeah.
by not winning the games we were supposed to. Because you and I said when there were 9 games left, this run of 5,
Yep.
and who did we draw? We drew Ipswich,
We drew Ipswich and we drew
Brentford.
Brentford. Yeah, I think it was Brentford.
Yeah,
Hold on, I'm going back. It
Brentford.
was Ipswich and Brentford. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so we drew 2 bottom teams, and like
Yep.
Arsenal just beat Ipswich. They were up 3-0 before Ipswich got the red card on the weekend.
Yeah.
So, like, we suck. Like, that's the end of it. Like, I think you and I, after the Ipswich draw, and then after the Brentford draw, at each
Yeah.
point, I feel like we were both more convinced that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
The fact that we won this game means there is still some hope to cling to. But again,
Yep.
I'm just going to mention it again. We are playing Liverpool in 2 weeks.
Yep.
we have Newcastle, then Man U, then Nottingham Forest. That's if we get past the Everton game.
Yeah.
Coming up next weekend. So,
and then sprinkle in some Conference League games in there too.
Exactly. That we have not looked very convincing in.
No.
So, if we do get Champions League, we well and truly earned it.
We did. Yes.
Based on the run into the season, but we also have blown it.
Yeah.
And I would have rather been in a situation where we could have just stayed where we were. But of course. So anyway, I'm not very confident. And I'll just based on what I saw in the Fulham game, and this is why I'm mad, is if we're gonna play like that and we've got these teams coming up, I don't even know if it's very possible we won't win another game, let alone get a draw. Winning is the least probable outcome for each of these games.
So this is all right. So let's go through this right quick. So we're 6th. We're 3 points off of Forest in 3rd, 2 points off of Newcastle in 4th, and 1 point off of City in 5th. So this weekend, Forest plays Brentford. That's probably a win for Forest.
For us, it's a draw. So they could draw.
Right, they could draw. Newcastle plays relegated Ipswich. Well, that's 3 points for Newcastle this weekend.
That is also a draw for us.
Yep. Yes, that is correct. That is a draw for us. Our loss, because we did lose to Ipswich earlier in the year. So there's that.
That's so
so City and Villa do play this weekend. So our best hope is that City and Villa will probably, I don't know, City beats Villa or they draw. Because if they draw, we can jump City.
Yeah.
So something.
Any scenario where other teams above us are dropping points is good enough for me at this point.
Yeah. So then the next week, we have Liverpool, which is probably a loss. We will probably have to give them the guard of honor, possibly.
If they win this weekend, though, I think they got it, right?
I think they got it too. I think they have.
They need to win this weekend because I do not. That's going to be a exclamation point on this season that I do not want. And then the other exclamation point comes if Arsenal wins the damn Champions League.
Yeah.
That's
so
also an exclamation point.
We'll get to that because I think that plays a role into this later on. So not this week, but the next week, we play Liverpool. That we'll just say that's a loss. Nottingham Forest plays Crystal Palace. Probably a win. Newcastle plays Brighton. That's a win. Man City plays Wolves. That's a win. Villa plays Fulham. That's probably a win.
So we're screwed the next week.
We're screwed the next week. We'll probably drop back down to 6th or 7th that week if we do make up some ground this week. So the next week, Nottingham Forest plays relegated Leicester. That's 3 points for them. City plays Southampton, relegated team. That's 3 points for them. Villa plays Bournemouth. That's 3 points for Villa. And we play Newcastle that week. So if we lose to Newcastle that week, it's done and dusted. It's over. Like, we have to get some kind of result at Newcastle, whether it's a point. We beat them early in the year, but Newcastle's flying right now. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I think at that point, a draw would be good out of that match. I would take that.
Oh, a draw would be great.
So then the next week, Nottingham Forest plays West Ham. So we're trusting Graham Potter to get points out of that, which I don't trust him one bit. So that's probably 3 more points for Nottingham Forest. Then City plays Bournemouth. That's probably a win. Villa plays Tottenham. That's like a double win because Tottenham are shit right now.
Dude, I was really hoping Tottenham would do something today. But
they couldn't even do anything.
Anytime you depend on Tottenham, they let you down.
Yeah, you can't trust them bastards.
Yeah,
they're terrible. Then we play United that week, which is our bogey team, and we can't beat United. We've beaten them like one time since since the early 2000s, I think, or the mid 2000s. Like, it's just bananas since last time we've beaten them. So doubt we beat them. And then Newcastle play Arsenal, which this goes to your point about Arsenal and how far they're making the Champions League. because I feel like if Arsenal, by this point, they will already have secured second place in the Premier League. And if they're still in the Champions League, they're going to play a bunch of kids. So that's probably 3 points for Newcastle without even a challenge.
There you go.
So then the last week of the season, Newcastle plays Everton. That's 3 points. City plays Fulham. That's 3 points because Fulham won't have anything to play for. Everton doesn't have anything to play for. Villa plays United. If United is if they're going to the Europa League final, which they probably will be, then they're going to rest players. And even Amarin's already said he's just playing kids the rest of the way through. So that's a win for Villa. And then we have to play Nottingham Forest.
Yep.
Who will probably already be so far ahead of us that it will be irrelevant. So, like, we literally, I still don't think it's in our hands. We're still going to have to count on other teams to lose because like that Newcastle game is huge because, in my opinion, that's the only potential loss that Newcastle has if Arsenal rests players, which I think they will probably. If they're still in the Champions League, they're for sure. And even then, they might still play kids because they're Arsenal and they'll try to screw us somehow.
That's why I'm so angry because we literally were in the driver's seat. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it on this pod, and whoever's listening can get mad, but we were in control of the situation. And yes, now Daniel just went through everything. Like, it does not look good. So any Chelsea fans still holding out hope, just, I don't know, go do something.
And you think about it. If we beat Ipswich, we beat Brentford, we're in third right now.
Exactly. But that's what we said. We said we would have to win this first 5 out of the last 9.
Yeah.
Because we were probably going to lose
a couple going.
Newcastle, Nottingham Forest. And if we could draw Man U, that would have put us in a position that we thought was tenable. And so Maresca coming out and saying, no, it's already been a great season is where people are talking about people are going to overreact and they're going to overanalyze it. No, it hasn't. You had a good season and you threw it in the trash. That's what you've done. That's why we're mad. That's why we get mad when he says shit like that. You had it. And now you're losing games in the Conference League and you're drawing games you should be winning in the Premier League. And then you have come from behind victories against Fulham where you have players that are doing individual brilliance, not necessarily because you are a great coach.
Yeah. And you're right. Here, I got a question for you, and we'll make predictions after this because I feel like we've sort of said our piece about this and where we are in this whole situation. We'll harp on the press conference, I guess, to close everything out here because I feel like there were so many missteps in this press conference from what you've already talked about with Maresca being like, hey, it's a good season. Well, it's really not. I guess in fairness to that quote, we're finishing right on par about where you and me said Chelsea would finish this season. I
almost picked 11th.
You did, but you didn't. So we're right there in that scenario where you and me are pretty much spot on if we think the end of the season goes the way we think it'll go.
Yeah.
So we'll be pretty spot on with where we said we'd finish. But he said in his press conference, his post-match press conference, they asked him, he said, because he went straight down the tunnel after we won.
Yeah.
Just hard left, down the tunnel, hard right, whatever it is, down the tunnel, didn't give an F. And they asked him, well, why didn't you go celebrate, with the fans and stuff like that? And he's like, well, that's the players' moments. They need to go do that. And I'm just like, you had a chance. These fans were literally calling you a wanker during the middle of the match. They were chanting wanker at you. And you had a chance to go celebrate with them, to possibly earn some good graces back. because I feel like he's caused a divide between himself and the fans. I think it's his own doing. By the things that he said in his press conferences. That's the way I think it is. It is what it is. He's done it to himself. He has no one to blame. But should Maresca have gone and clapped the fans, Jason?
Yes,
should he have gone and done that?
Absolutely. I don't care what the fans are chanting. I don't care what they're calling you. Don't be a pussy. Go over there and clap the fans. What looks better? I'll give you each scenario, right? I'll just lay it out. You throw the fans under the bus and the previous game, and then this game because you lost, and then this game you actually have a come from behind victory. The fans are chanting horrible things at you because you threw them under the bus. Okay?
Yeah.
In one scenario, you do what you did. You walk down the tunnel. In the other scenario, you shoulder it all. You step out. You come out there with you. It's not even like just clapping the fan. Like you're with the players celebrating.
Right.
Like there's good imagery in that. There's goodwill in that. Anyway, I'm just laying them out. You walk down the tunnel. What looks better? You walk down the tunnel or you actually just go clap the fans? I mean, that's as simple as that. What looks better at the end of the day? Because if you're walking down the tunnel, we question motives. You get asked about it. You then have to have a reason. It doesn't look good for you to do that. In general, you don't take your chance to take the moment. If you go out there, you show, I can handle this gig. I can handle the players. I can handle the fans. I can enjoy the moments that need to be enjoyed.
Right.
It's as simple as that. Why are you here? If you don't like the criticism, why are you here?
Yeah.
I'm sorry that fan bases are toxic. I wish that they weren't, and I wish that everything was roses all the time and we could be positive. I don't think we're that toxic. I think we literally just laid out the case for why we are why this is like a pig finding a piece of corn ruffling through shit so that they can it's what the farmer does, right? He lets the pig rifle through the shit. He creates compost looking for corn.
Yeah.
That fermented. It's our little piece of fermented alcoholic corn that we, the fans, are trying to find through the shit Maresca creates. That's what this game is. And you laid out why, in context, this isn't that momentous of a moment.
Yeah.
The time has passed, right? Take your moments while you have them now at the end of the season. Because you're quickly running out of games that you will be able to do this in.
Right.
If things go the way they're still going. Now, unless there's a miracle, unless something happens, football is football. Other teams drop points. We get some luck, yada, yada, yada. All the bullshit that comes with football. Anything's possible on any day. I'm not saying that it's not. If we take the trajectory that we're on, though, and we look at everything that you just laid out, the entire context of this, Maresca blew a chance to build goodwill back with the fans after his team bailed him out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, which scenario looks better for you?
I'm with you. I don't understand it. You literally have started to burn a bridge, and it's 3/4 of the way burned with the fans right now. So you have a chance to start rebuilding that bridge at least halfway. It's not going to repair itself overnight over one match, but you have a chance to do that, and you don't take it. That's the thing about Poch. Poch was behind the 8 ball when he got here. Everybody hated Poch. I hated Poch. You hated Poch because he was freaking Tottenham manager.
Yeah.
But he would still go clap the freaking fans. You literally just had a
we as fans just
victory.
Seeing you celebrate it. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no. Yeah, go freaking celebrate with the fan. I don't know, man. It's something so simple that he didn't do, and it goes back to my point I made at the beginning of this episode that I think it's literally at this point just pure arrogance by Maresca. It's my way. I'm going to do what the F I want to do, and I don't give an F who I piss off. If it pisses off the fans, it pisses off the fans. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. And we'll see how it turns out for him. And then maybe he turns shit around. I don't know. He's going to be given time.
I did, like, just to go back to it for a second, right? Like, I've just had a couple of thoughts on what you're saying. So I'm piggybacking off some of the things because you made me think of things. But, like, as a manager, right, you have, there's a game surrounding the game. The reason we loved Mourinho is because he played that game. Like, he was, you knew he was going to come out in that press conference and he was going to be Mourinho.
Yeah.
And he was going to insert his personality into that. He was going to fight for what he wanted to fight for in that moment, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But like, we were behind that. Like, as a manager, like, we asked this of the players, take your chances. We literally just commended Tyreek George for being one of the only players to actually take a chance.
Yeah.
Like, and he did, and it goes in. Like, that's what we want from the players. We also want it from the coaches, right?
Yeah.
Like, and we had fans that came out. Okay, sorry. And Maresca, he doesn't take his chances. Like, a player scoring on goal is a manager clapping the fans, is a manager celebrating the goal, is a manager even giving a player a hug, is a manager. Like, people love it seeing Pep, like, come talk. I guess it was the City game. Pep grabs Palmer and is like, you see him, and Palmer, he's got him around the shoulder.
Yeah.
And he's like telling him things that he saw about his game.
Right.
And he's like pointing out to him, it's like, hey, these are things you did. Like, and he takes him like under his wing, literally. And it's just like, in that moment, you feel he's proud of him. He still wants to coach him. He recognizes he's a good player. He still wants to help him. Like, you look at Pep and you go, that's coach. Right? After the game, we watched that video. If you go down the tunnel, you can't do that. You're not taking your chance. If you go into the press conference, those are other ways to take your chances. And people want to talk about, he's just not that articulate. He's just not eloquent, and English is a second language or whatever. Like, sure. Like,
English is the second language of, like, every manager we have.
Yeah. But, like, we can give grace for stuff if you're not saying shit like, the fans kind of blew that for us. Okay.
Yeah.
And then that brings me to my next point. If you're mad at the fans at least showed up and chanted this match.
Yeah.
We still had fans show up to the game. Like, and that's what I said to you, is like, if we go down at an away match, like, is it their fans' fault that we didn't score? Like, who's to blame here? Anyway, now I was being an asshole, but, like, our fans still showed up.
Yep.
Like, we still had fans show up. Like, for whatever reason, we love giving fans, but they're paying the money. They're taking the time. They're paying the money. Like, there were people in the Reddit before we won going, man, I feel like this team owes me money this season. It's like, but, like, there's time, there's money, there's heart, there's trust, there's all the things we do as fans that's how we take our chances.
Yeah.
We're taking our chances on a team. We want success. We supposedly all want that, unless you just want to be Brighton and then you just want to be Brighton. But, like, we all supposedly want to win. Like, if you're slagging off the fans and then they show up and then you don't, are you, like, how do you think that's going to look to the fans still? I don't understand. Like, take your chance. We ask the same of the players. Take your chances. Find the gaps. Score the goal. Make the pass. Make the save. Take the chances. Be a hero. Coaches also have that in different ways. If you're not doing that, what? Like, I don't know. I don't know what you expect from the fans at that point. If you're going to slag them off and then not also show up when they show up.
Yep.
You slag them off for not showing up, and then you don't go over there when they do.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing, is, like, how many times have we called out players on this podcast for not going over and clapping the fans.
Exactly. And
Like,
we expect the same of the players. Yes.
Exactly. We expect the same thing from the players that we expected the manager. Like, it's not that difficult. We're not asking a lot. This is an away match. So these people, number one, granted, it's literally Fulham.
It's just down the road.
But it's just down the road. But still, these people had to go an extra tube stop just to get to the stadium.
It's true. It's true.
Take the next tube stop
into enemy territory.
Into enemy territory. That's right. And then, like, look, I always appreciate our away fans more than I do our home fans because, like, the bridge is dead now.
Yeah.
Like, during home matches, it sucks compared to what it used to back in the day. But when our away contingency shows up and they're all I hear during the match, it's fantastic. Like, because that's the way Fulham was. Like, our away fans showed up, they chanted the whole match. You don't have to agree with everything they chanted. You know, that's up to you to decide. But they chanted the whole match. And they cheered the team on. They celebrated the victory. And then for you just to have the audacity to just turn your back on them and walk down the tunnel, to me, it's like, which they won't look at it like this. They meaning Clear Lake. It's disrespect to the club. Number one, it's disrespect to the badge that you're supposedly managing for. And it's a disrespect to your players because you're not supporting them. And it's disrespect to the fans, most of all. So it's like, you had a golden opportunity in your grasp and you can't take it. I don't know.
Exactly.
At this point, not only do I question Maresca's tactics a lot of times, I'm starting to question his character as a person, as a freaking human being. Like, so, but according to most people, judging by the play on the field, I feel like he has lost the locker room. But according to people that actually talk to people, he hasn't. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
We'll see.
We'll see. But
we'll see 10 years down the road when the players can be honest.
Well, or we'll see whenever he gets fired. We'll see what kind of PR campaign comes out afterwards.
Oh, speaking of shit stuff, Anthony Taylor sucks ass.
Oh, dude. What are we going to let them have like an extra 30 seconds at the end of the match to try and kick the freaking ball?
Yeah. Oh, you want to question the character of somebody too? Like, I'll add Anthony Taylor. Like, we had advantage. He stops the play when one of the players is
one of their players. Not a head injury. Not a head injury. So there's no reason to stop the match. No reason to
stop the match. And so that's bullshit. And then he faked everybody out. Like, he put the whistle to his lips or like pointed at the spot, one of the two.
Yeah.
And like our players stopped playing for a half a second before they didn't hear the whistle while Fulham are attacking our box.
Yeah.
Like, that is insane. Like, that should not be allowed to happen. But Anthony Taylor gets away with that bullshit because he's a legacy or some shit. But I'm pretty furious with Anthony Taylor. I think that dude,
he's shit.
I just think he's.
I mean, he also
was trying to even up the field at the end of the game, and I'm gonna say it because I can. I would be, if I was a coach, I'd be pissed off at that shit, and I'd be having a word with his superiors because that's bullshit to fake out the team that is on the back foot at the moment while the other team is attacking the goal and has a chance to cross and score. Anthony Taylor go to hell. That guy sucks.
And he gave Maresca a yellow card for celebrating, for being happy that we scored a goal. Like, what, you're the freaking fun police now? I mean,
might have done us a favor though, because Maresca can't be at the next game, right?
That's right. And I'm praying to God that Big Willie gets the call up and is on the sidelines for the Everton match. So I have more faith in Big Willie than I do Maresca.
That's going to change my prediction.
It might be the breakout match of the season. if Big Willie is on the sidelines calling it, like this might be the breakout match of the season, and we might be calling for a promotion and a firing Maresca for Big Willie to be. Hey, I will say this: there will be no slandering of the manager this weekend at Stamford Bridge if Big Willie is in the box.
That guy gets all the benefit of the doubt for sure.
That's right. I mean, like at this point in time, like both our goalkeepers suck. I'm almost at the point where I just put Big Willie in goal. Like, can he not? Like, if he's managing, can you just go put himself in goal?
Player manager, yeah,
player manager time this weekend.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yes.
So, but his potential is probably not up to par with Robert Sanchez's. So he's probably not as good with his feet. Yeah, his decision making.
Nobody makes decisions like Robert Sanchez. He just needs the talent.
Yeah, it's just like, and I've been advocating for this. This is my position on Sanchez. Like, Sanchez sucks ass. Like, he's terrible. But so does Jurgensen. They both suck ass.
Yeah.
Neither one of them are good. Like, you're damned if you do. Like, Jurgensen can't stop a ball 2 miles an hour shot by a 5-year-old at him. Like, and Sanchez can't pass the ball to a guy 5 feet in front of him. So it's like, what do you want? A guy that can't stop goals, or a keeper that's going to pass the ball to the other team but can at least stop shots? So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, whichever keeper. The best keeper for Chelsea is currently in Strasbourg right now. So
I hope.
But his potential wasn't as much as Robert Sanchez's, Jason. His potential was not there.
His potential to let in goals for the other team, you mean? Is that what you mean? Got it. I understand everything now.
Yeah, it's all coming clear. It's all becoming clear. I guess anything else you want to add about Maresca? We didn't even really talk about the match. This was just a Maresca rant.
I said my piece. I said my piece about the match too. I thought we were shit.
Yeah.
For most.
Yeah, I mean, we were
all the match.
Yeah, for 80 minutes.
You said it too. You summed it up really well. We were shit for like 80 minutes, and then the last 15, we were, it was better.
Yeah, it was better.
Yeah.
So,
thank you, Tyreek George.
One question. So with Everton, we'll make predictions. So leading to the Everton match, do you start Tyreek George at striker this weekend?
Oh, hell yeah. Everton? Hell yes.
I'm with you.
We're at the end of the season. Like, I don't know. Nico's head's not in the game. Like, he didn't even have good body language yesterday. I don't know what he was doing. Like, he didn't look up for it. He didn't want to be there. Like, normally we can at least praise like Nico's hold-up play. Like, we can praise like his effort, like because that's what we've been able to praise like consistently with Nico. And you can't even do that for last game. Like, Nico shit the bed last game. I think Nico shit the bed last game. Mad shit the bed last game. Reece shit the bed last game. Sanchez stepped up. Back line decently okay. Caicedo, Enzo fine. Palmer had some moments, but I don't know why he's coming in so deep. Neto was Neto for most of the game, and then scored a banger. Tyreek George comes in, changes. Like, we played for like 10 to 15 good minutes at the start of the half with the changes, and then it was just until Tyreek George came in, like there was nothing to look at. Like, and so I think you have to like Sancho. I don't think Sancho's very good. I think Sancho has potential to be very good. I don't think he's doing enough.
I think he's actually had an assist in like 4 matches in a row now.
Well, yeah, I should count that. Like, his footwork's pretty bad, I think. And
he has
decision making and driving the ball. He doesn't drive in very well. I just don't think he does very good.
He can drive in. Just one of two things are going to happen. He's going to drive in and lose the ball like Sterling does.
Yeah,
or if he does, by some miracle, make it by his man, he will then make a terrible pass because he's not going to shoot. We know that. Like,
he is more Sterling-like than not, which is really bad.
I would agree with that. Yeah, which is
not in the scoring way, not like in the Sterling winger way, like in that.
Right, because at least Sterling, when Sterling got by his man, which was rare, he would shoot and he would score sometimes. But Sancho, when he gets by his man, is going to inevitably make a bad pass, probably trying to force it to Cole Palmer, or doing some dumb shit. So
Sancho has to shoot from the top of the box to score, like he did a couple of games ago. Like, he has to. Like, there's just no other option for him.
I guess we can't even talk about, because the Neto's, I guess we should remind people that Neto did miss a point-blank shot early in the match.
Yeah.
That was awful. Nico,
that's why I tried to
the only thing Nico did good all match was make that pass to Neto, and then Neto just bottled it.
That's why I try to characterize it as Neto was Neto until he scored.
Yeah, right. He was Neto until he got lucky and scored.
Yeah. Another person on my shit list, Piera, I think is his name. That little bastard.
Oh yeah, that dude was trying to take somebody out. Yeah,
he's a little bitch. Like, I hate that guy. What a little bastard. Like, he was trying to hurt people, and then his little step overs that he did, and then he still looked like an asshole. Still wasn't able to keep the ball.
That was funny. That was
little
funny.
prick.
Oh, step over.
I hope he sucks.
We're gonna have our own. We're gonna have our own step over king next year, Jason. When Esteval gets here, you just wait for some beautiful step overs with Esteval next year. He is going to tickle our taints, and it is going to be amazing next year.
I can't wait to have my taint tickled by this team.
I know, I've never been
itching for it.
I have not been more excited for a player since Eden Hazard than I am Esteval. Like, that's how hype I am. Like, Hazard was probably still more hype.
Hopefully Maresca plays him, Daniel.
Golly, yeah, Maresca. Maresca will probably tell the board that he's not talented enough, that he needs to go on loan somewhere.
The one time Maresca has any say in any decision, and it's going to be that.
Yeah, I don't know. I swear.
Okay,
yeah, and then they're gonna.
Sorry,
one more just to piggyback off that, the Esteval thing. They were talking about Santos the other day, who has literally been like one of the best midfielders in League One, and they're like, so what do you think about Santos, Maresca? Oh, we're gonna bring him in and evaluate him and see if he slots into the first team or not next year. You freaking moron! He should have been recalled in January. Well, maybe not. We could have recalled Ukachukwu. One of them two should have been recalled in January. He wouldn't have to spend any money. He could have had an extra midfielder. And they're a million times better than Dewsbury Hall.
But Maresca's a bastard, and we're just stuck with him for two more seasons or another season.
We really are.
Like, we're just stuck with him for two full seasons at least. And I don't know. We'll see what happens next season. I reserve the right to say when he's actually going to get fired, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we have an amazing season next season.
Maybe
we'll see what happens.
I mean, maybe a whole nother year. What I'm worried about next season. I'm more worried about burnout, because we're only gonna have, and this is not a Maresca problem. This is not Chelsea. This is a FIFA problem that I have a problem with.
Yeah.
Because of all these damn tournaments. Because the players are literally gonna have like a month off, especially if we make it to the Conference League finals. They'll have which won't even be that much because they got to come back and train. So they'll have like 2 weeks off. Then they'll have to be back at Cabo and training for the Club World Cup. Then they'll go play that. And then they go right into the Premier League season.
Yeah, it's going to be wild.
Stupid.
Yeah. Stupid. Expect more injuries next season.
Yeah, I would.
Maresca can't even nail down a decent starting lineup with a consistent playing style. Expect more of that shit next season.
Yeah. I
don't know, man.
I always said this season that I didn't count this season. Next season was the season. Now next season might end up being the next season.
Well, this is the problem. I'm going to go into another tangent. This is the main problem. This is why fans boo, right? Is because we want stability in the club, and we want a playing style that is showing progression. And we thought we had that at the beginning of the season. And we have to now, under Bowley and Co., go into every season going, well, and we were literally complaining about this when we started the pod, and then especially when we brought Raheem Sterling in the next year. It has been a valid and consistent complaint by us. We now just have to hope it comes good. And everybody wants to compare themselves to freaking what's his name from Arsenal. I've already forgot his damn name. The coach from Arsenal, what's his name?
Arteta,
right? Everybody wants to be like, well, Arteta had time. And I was like, Arteta, for the last 3 seasons, has been in the running. How long has he been there? 5, right? Okay. So
he's been there since No, it's long.
6?
Yeah, maybe 5. Yeah, but 5. Yeah, 5.
5?
Something like that. Yeah.
So, Maresca, next year's put up or shut up, man. Like, we have to see progression. And somebody was bitching and complaining about Chelsea fans not giving managers enough time. I mean, we concede Maresca will be here for another season. But this is the thing Maresca and the board overall have robbed us of, is being able to trust in any process, because the process literally is make money. The process is be Brighton. Like, if you want to be Brighton, I don't think they care about winning Champions League, because it means we should be lower in the table. Like, that's what they want. They want to be mid-table, and they just want to churn money. And I'm like, you're leaving money on the table by not having a shirt sponsor and not doing what you need to do to get in the Champions League.
Just 40 million, Jason. Just 40 million for not a shirt sponsor.
How much money do you get? So much money for being in the group stages of the Champions League, which is, unless you're us and then you win the Champions League and then you're literally the first winner of the Champions League to go out in the group stages the next year in 2013, like we did. But like, typically you get out of the group stages if you're a Premier League team. Like, that's just a given, unless we are an anomaly. It is different, but still, like, you get so much money. If you get out of the group stages, you get so much more money. And then the more you win, the more money you get. And then if you win it, you get a lot of money, which it is hard to win the Champions League, unlike some people on Twitter seem to think. But, like, it is just crazy to me that they would forego the easy way to get money, and then they would just rather sell assets back to themselves.
Yep. Well, they're out of assets.
And that somehow is the easy way, when we were literally in the driver's seat to just be in line for, like, the bank handing us money next season. So I don't know. That's the issue to me, is like the trust is completely eroded. And so people want to complain about, well, we don't give managers enough time. And I'm like, what is there to trust in with this manager? Like, he doesn't even have any consistency within a game, let alone game to game, let alone the second half of the season. That was our first away win in 2025.
Yeah.
That is
first away win.
There's no trust. It's gone. Like, there is no trust. There's just hope. And, like, I would love to be at a place where I trust the manager. I would love to be able to trust Maresca. I thought we were kind of there until we went on this shit run. And now we're staring down, like, we're progressing. Like, if we had lost the Fulham match, man, like, we would be talking about that first half. People would be talking about that first half in a much different light, because us winning glosses over. It's Febreze on shit. Like, us winning literally glosses over all of that. Like, and people are just gonna, like, be fickle and forget that shit. And you and I are thinking about it full context, within the game, out of the game, rest of the season. Like, the way this team is playing, the probability is insanely low. I don't give a shit if we won this one game, came from behind this one time, when we've had boot-koodles of chances to do that previously in the season, and we haven't done it. Oh, well, now all of a sudden we've done it, so that's progress. No. Now you've done it too late.
Yeah.
Now you're in a situation where you have to hope and pray the other teams drop points, and you can somehow outplay Maresca's tactics and win a game against the people in front of us. Like, we just have to hope that happens. There is no trusting. We all of our cards are in the luck basket right now. And that's what they're asking us for next season. And that's the situation Maresca has created for next season. So that's where we're at. Like, that's why fans are pissed off. It's not a secret. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Just look at how the season's progressed.
It is. It is crazy. And, like, the people that, like, it's so funny because on Twitter, it's like, some people are like, I don't understand why we're still being a toxic fan base. We won a match. And I'm like, yeah, okay, we won. Fair. But we were shit for 80 minutes of that match. Like, and the same people that do this are the same people when we lose or we draw are the same people that are like, oh, we deserve to win that match.
Yep.
Oh, we deserve 3 points and not 1 out of that match. That's what we deserved out of that match. Well, then you have to say the same thing about the loss or the win when you pull it out in the 80th minute. That no, you deserve to lose that match. I'm not saying that, because you deserve whatever result you get, and it's not my fault Fulham are shit and can't stop us from scoring for 15 minutes. That's on them. We did it, so we deserve the 3 points. But the people that are getting mad at us for being negative about it are the same people that are, we deserve points from them. And no, we didn't deserve points when we drew with Ipswich, when we drew with Brentford, when we lost Ipswich earlier this year, when we lost to Fulham earlier in the year. We didn't deserve points from those matches. I don't care what you say, but you just have to be, and nobody is consistent with those points. It's like, if you say that in that match, then you have to say that we were shit in this match too, but you won't do that. And that's my problem with this. Is like, both things can be true. We won and we were shit. Yeah. Like, you win sometimes when you're shit, but it doesn't take away from the fact that you were shit. Right. It happens. And it's like you said,
it doesn't bode well when you're playing 3 of the top 5 coming up.
Right. Exactly. And you've always said on this podcast since day one that it takes luck to win. And that's what we were on Sunday. We were lucky. We were lucky yesterday to walk out of there with 3 points. It is what it is. You get lucky sometimes and you get 3 points. But like you said, we have to play the champions. We have to play another team that's probably 2 other teams that are probably going to finish. They're going to finish around us in the table. And then we have to play another team that we have a very hard time of beating in Man United. That we've beaten one time in like 13 years or some shit like that. So crazy. I don't care how shit they are. They're our bogey team, and people don't realize that. They don't take that into context. And then on top of that, we had to play Everton, who we drew with earlier in the year.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it in context, sure, let's look at just the game. Oh, wow, come from behind victory. Did the boys see that out? That was great. Couple pieces of individual brilliance. Wow, really made up for a slow start in the beginning of the match. Man, did we really persevere and did we really come through? Great. Now look at it with the next 5 games. Holy shit, this is too little too late. Why in the world have we waited this long to come from behind victories? Why do we play like shit most matches with only luck to see us through? And most of the time the luck isn't coming because, in my opinion, you create your own luck in a lot of instances, and we don't do that shit because we're not good enough to do it, because we don't get set up to do it, because the manager sucks and the directors of football suck because they've created a shit system where the manager can't question anything, and the manager has to be a yes man. He's got a 5-year damn contract, never having been a Premier League coach. Wow, this really sucks. But within the context of this season, we're never going to win again. Why would we ever win again against teams that, to your point, are bogey teams? I don't understand why everybody's so mad at me for being realistically upset about the situation that we currently find ourselves in when we were in 4th for most of the season.
And that's the thing is, there's a difference between, that was an amazing rant, by the way. I loved every second of it. That's the difference, though, is your point. You just said the key word in your rant, realistic. There's a difference between being realistic and being, a pessimist or an optimist or and that's what I feel like. People are like, oh, you're being toxic. Well, no, to the point, I'm being a realist. And that's something I've always prided myself in, and you and me both have, is always being realist and being realistic about our chances. Why do you think we predicted us to finish? What do we think? I think I predicted 7th. You predicted 9th this year because we're realists. Yeah. We're not finishing top 4. We're not good enough to finish top 4. The only reason we're in the contention right now is because City shit the bed and decided to play like shit this year. And Newcastle and Villa both went through bad runs of form. So. And we get an extra Champions League spot. Let's not forget about that this year. So technically we can finish in the top 5 and still get a Champions League. It's not top 4.
Oh, the only reason we have a shot is because you can finish in the top 5 and get in. That's the only reason we have a shot now. So we've literally shot ourselves in the foot. The only reason is because of Arsenal. So
big up to Arsenal. Not really. No. I was just kidding. That was a joke, guys. That was a joke.
If they literally win, I'm going to go into a depression. I'm going to seriously be depressed for a while.
This podcast, we're
going to go dark one week. Yeah, I'm just not going to do it.
It'll be Yeah, it's stupid.
I don't know if I can.
They're not going to. They're not going to. I'm putting the vibes out there. They're not going to do it. I'm just saying.
Hope not.
They're not. But there's a difference in being a realist and being overly optimistic about things, and being a pessimist or being toxic. Like, you can call out, just because you call out faults, or just because you say we don't think we're going to do this because of X, Y, and Z, because we have no experienced players, because we have a bunch of youth that haven't been tested, because we have a manager that's never managed in the Premier League before. Well, you're being toxic. No, I'm bringing up valid points that back up what I'm saying, and I don't have to believe or think that Chelsea are going to finish top 4 every year. Like, I can be a realist about it. I can say I don't think we're there yet. Like, if we make the Champions League by some miracle, I don't think we will make it out of the group stage unless we buy about 4 or 5 really good players, because we don't have the depth. Like, the Conference League has shown that we don't have the depth for Champions League next year.
Exactly.
So, I'm sorry if that makes me toxic for saying that, guys, but
get out of here with your toxic shit, Daniel.
It's so infuriating. It's like, you can say that the manager is shit and not be toxic whenever he does shitty things within the match. Like, play Reece James for 90 minutes in a meaningless Conference League. Yeah, right. Like, when he plays Reece James for 90 minutes in a meaningless Conference League match. Or he doesn't bring in Josh consistently. When he says he says, I love Josh.
Yep, exactly.
Josh is one of my favorite players, but yet I never play Josh. So take
your opportunities, Maresca.
Right. So your actions are saying something completely different, than your words. So I'm just going to believe that you bullshit us a lot and that you're a freaking bullshitter. And that's what you do. You're an arrogant asshole prick. That doesn't make me toxic. That's my opinion about Maresca. And I can say those words and in the same breath say I don't want Maresca fired, because it's going to do no good for the club. So,
you can say those words and still be a supporter. Just because you're criticizing aspects of the game, just because you're criticizing people that are creating the aspects of the game that are being criticized, doesn't mean you're still not a supporter of the club.
Right.
You're allowed to criticize and support.
You're allowed to freaking chant in the middle of the match that the manager's a wanker. You're allowed to sing Super Frank Lampard, who is bringing Coventry up the table as we speak right now. Like, I don't know. Like, you're allowed to chant that shit during the middle of the match. But you as a manager better get your ass over there to the freaking fans at the end of the match and clap them.
Exactly.
So, golly, freaking ran it. We've just ran it for 20 minutes.
It's my fault.
It's my fault. I asked the question. I asked the question, Jason. It's my fault.
Yeah.
Let's just predict some. Let's predict Everton.
Incoming pessimistic prediction.
Oh no! Don't be toxic, Jason. Golly,
I'm about to be toxic.
Wait, did either one of us get the prediction right this past week?
No, we were reversed.
Oh, that's right. We both predicted Fulham to win 2-1, didn't we?
We predicted. Yeah, we were being a little toxic.
Yeah, we were. We were being toxic, apparently.
Yeah.
But all right. I'm ready. I'm ready for the prediction. Yeah, because then the thing is, people probably get mad at us whenever we predict Chelsea to lose, and they're like, "Oh, you're being toxic. You're being okay." Well, I can't predict Chelsea to win. Yeah, we're not going to win every match. Like, geez. No. Seriously. God. Why do you think I predicted us to lose to Warsaw, guys? Because we did. Because I knew we were going to shit the bed. So, I'm ready for this one. This is at home. So,
my prediction's ridiculous. It's not going to happen, but I just want to.
Okay, I got one. 3, 2, 1. 3-0 Chelsea.
2-2 draw.
Oh, 2-2 draw. I'm going 3. It's between 3-0 and 3-1. I'm going to give Sanchez his flowers this week and say he's going to somehow miraculously keep a clean sheet.
I hope you're right. What was your prediction? 3-0.
3-0. Yep. Everton will probably score within the first 5 minutes of the match for prediction will be ruined. Oh, yeah, I do feel like we get by Everton, and we get even more of our favorite word on this podcast, Jason, hope. We get even more hope from this team that, there's a chance, that we can finish top
5. I think it's over. I think it's over this week.
So we play Liverpool next after Everton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If we lose to Liverpool, and that's the thing, Liverpool ain't got nothing to play for anymore except for Premier League. So especially if they don't clinch it this weekend, oh God, we're gonna get destroyed.
That's gonna suck. That's going to suck. They have to clinch it this weekend.
God, I pray that they clinch it.
I was talking to my wife about that. I was like, I don't think I could handle doing the Guard of Honor. Like I don't mind giving the Guard of Honor. I don't think I could handle them clinching it while we.
Yeah, I agree. Thank God it's at home. It's not at Anfield, so thank God that's at least we at least get that. But my goodness, if they pray to God Arsenal lose this weekend and Liverpool wins, they can damn clinch the league.
I think they can do it without Arsenal losing, right? Or is that still? I think the math works out now.
I don't know. I hadn't looked at the table.
They are currently 13 points ahead with 5 games left.
No, they would. So yes, if they win this weekend, then they clinch. Because even if Arsenal wins, they're still 13 ahead, and there's only 12 points left.
Yeah.
Oh, and they play freaking Tottenham. Okay, they're going to win. Okay, thank God.
I hope
they're going to clinch the league.
That would be awesome if they clinched it against Tottenham.
Yeah, because I would much rather them clinch the league and have to give them the Guard of Honor than have to freaking be the team that they have to beat to win the league.
Yeah, I don't give a shit giving the Guard of Honor. If this was an Arsenal thing, I would hate that. But I don't give a shit. I don't want to be the team that lets them win it. I don't want them to win it on our week.
Because then that gives them even more to play for when they play us. Maybe they'll be like, we'll take it easy on. But even when they play their kids, they still beat us. So it doesn't even damn matter.
Exactly.
Oh man. All right, Jason. We have gone way too long tonight. But we have gone way too long. We haven't had one of these episodes in a long time. We've been doing so good. Damn you, Maresca.
Awful win. I knew it was
awful win. Yeah. That's why we're toxic, man. That's why we're toxic, Jason.
Toxic.
And but whatever. Arsenal's been more successful than us since 2017.
Yeah.
Just saying, whatever. Yeah. We've won more trophies than them, including the Champions League. So F that guy on Twitter that tried to convince me that Arsenal's been better than us. Literally finished above us in the league.
Champions League in the old system was easy or something. Is what they said.
I swear, man. I swear. These people.
Yeah.
These people on Twitter. Just tell the people where they can find us, Chase.
Yo, we're on X, we're on Instagram, we're on Substack. We've made it easy. You can find us on all 3 things at Red White Blues FC. Check us out in writing. Daniel does amazing things.
Yeah, for sure. Listen to us on Apple, Spotify. Always listen to us on 2 times speed so you can do the podcast a lot quicker.
That's how I listen.
That's how I listen too. It takes you just, if you have never done it before, just work your way up. Go to 1.5 times, 1.75, and then 2.0, and I guarantee you'll be there in a couple weeks, and it'll be no problem.
Exactly.
So anyway, we are on YouTube if you prefer that format. Whatever. Like, subscribe so you can look at our beautiful faces. And put your notifications on, comment, do all that jizzy jazz and whatever else. And until next Monday, where we will not be assholes and we will be positive and we will be celebrating Chelsea's win versus Everton. Or in Jason's case, a draw versus Everton. Catch you guys and gals on the flip side.
You're welcome for the reality check, Chelsea fans. Flippity floppity.